Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to Stretch the Sketch, hosted by Janet Fritz, whose channel is Galaxy Girl Creations here on YouTube. And it's where we take a sketch and either make it larger or smaller. And today's sketch is by Terhi for the Hip Kit Club. Terhi has a YouTube channel, and I've watched her for many years, so I'll make sure I leave a link for her channel down there below. And these are the photos that I'm going to be scrapping today. I'm going to use those dies for part of my title, and I have a few tags and things I'm going to use, flowers and greenery. I'm going to use that piece of paper right there of layering stuff and a film strip. And this paper isn't from the Sunburst collection. It is from Spectrum Gardenia, I'm pretty sure. It's either that or Spectrum Sherbet, but I'm pretty sure it's Spectrum Gardenia. I cut the branding strip off. I don't know 100% for sure. If anyone knows, they could put it down there below. I wanted this blue to be darker and look more like the colors, that go with Sunburst. So I am using Stormy Sky. And then I'm going to add some abandoned coral in oxide. And then right at the end, I think, somewhere along the way, I'm going to notice there's some yellow in one of the pieces with splatters that I'm going to end up using. And so I will add scattered straw for splatters. And then you'll see in the photos where I added a little more of it because I just was looking at it after I got done and thinking it needed a little bit more yellow. I am adding more splatters of the Stormy Sky. There are splatters in the background already, but I thought if I use my fan brush, I can add them and it'll be more of them, but they wouldn't be that big. And then now I'm adding them with splatters with the abandoned coral. And I've got so much there, I thought, I hate to wipe it all up. Maybe I can add some splatters with it. Well, the first time I tried the splatter, it did not do the bigger splatters like I wanted. I thought, well, I either have, if I add the more water, I'll have to add more ink. So I decided just do them by hand and add them here and there on the layout. And so that's what I'm doing, is making them kind of look like what's already there in the blue is what I'm trying to do. But the sketch has a circle, 3 photos. I have both of them. I am not going to have the border piece like they have. I'm going to have a film strip instead. But there is a banner looking thing on there with the border. And it's kind of random kind of looking instead of being, just straight across. It does have empty spots. But I thought, oh my goodness, I could use the banner that I have been, well, it's been laying in my tray, been pulled out, been moved, and I've tried to use it, and I haven't never managed it yet so far. And it's a little worn for the wear, but I am going to make getting it on this layout. That piece there was one of the layering pieces, and a wee bit too big. It would have covered all my circle up, and I didn't want the whole thing covered up. So I cut it down and then I inked it in the Stormy Sky. And I'm putting the photos down, and I guess I could tell you about the photos while I'm putting them down. They were in the dark. Well, it was evening. There was some light there. But I printed one earlier weeks ago, and it looked pixelated because at 4x6 it was just too much for the photo. And so I thought, I'm going to have to print them smaller. Well, when I seen this sketch, I thought, well, I could use them. And so I printed them on the small side so that all 3 fit here on the layout. And did layer them a bit so I guess it's like book sheets is what it looks like behind it. I wanted them to show, so I kind of squished them together just a wee bit. And the thing is behind this, they talked each other into buying more of the Hawaiian clothes, even matching shorts on the guys. And Kaylee bought a dress, and they thought they'd do one of those red carpet walks. And they were talking about styling, walking. Well, the what do they call that one when you're modeling, whatever? They thought they ought to do it, and then when they got to where they were going, they thought we could do a red carpet walk, but they didn't have a car, of course, being in Hawaii. So they just borrowed one that they thought would look good for them to get out of and took pictures. So, yeah, that's what's going on there. I mean, they're grown, they've got responsible jobs and all that, but they love to do things together and have fun. So that's what they're doing here and taking photos of their getting out of the car, and then the photos being taken like they do, in Hollywood for the red carpet walk, whatever. And yeah, that's what's going on here. They were just having fun. And whoever owned the car apparently missed out on all the fun. Uh, this is that fishnet from, I cut several and put them to the side so I'd have them, from Studio Light. And I forgot to put it behind. And if you noticed on the right hand side, it wasn't wanting to come up. I might tear the tree. Not that it'd be that bad behind the paper, but I didn't want to tear it and rip the part that you could actually see. So I just stopped where I was at and added pieces. And I'm going to add some ferns to each side with some flowers. And I did curve my ferns and put foam tape behind them when I pulled them out of the laser sheet. Oh, I just love the laser sheets. And put them on there. And then I'm going to have a third fern later, but it'll be a smaller one because the place I'm going to have it doesn't have enough room to have a bigger one. Well, it'll look good because it gets kind of cramped as I go along. 9 by 12. Oh, this is a 9 by 12. I cut 1.5 inches off of each side. Anyway, it does not have as much real estate as a 12 by 12. So there was several things left over in that tray, like flowers and more greenery. But I put both the trees on there and put them behind completely so it looked like they're farther away. And I will be adding something in a minute, and I want the dimension for that. And my title is Happy People, Well-Dressed People. It was going to be Happy People, Happy Well-Dressed People, but I decided to go ahead and leave the other happy off. And here's where I noticed the banner over there, and I thought, oh, man, we're planned on putting it, I can't. But I'm kind of glad because I like it the way it is. So, yeah, it was going to go down before the ferns and stuff and go across there with the film strip, but I like it the way it is. And since it's been laying in that tray and moved around and moved around, it was getting a little bit worn, so I had to put some ink on it to cover up the spots where it was kind of breaking. But you can't really tell it once you do that. But I think I'm getting close to getting done. I'm going to add the little cluster down there at the bottom, and it's going to go over to the left. Since I have that tree going all the way up, I thought, well, I need to kind of balance it out, putting something down there in the bottom left. And I'm cutting that one ticket off because I didn't want to go up too high. I wanted the other piece to go higher, and I had added foundation papers behind it. I wanted to say cardstock, but it is 49 in Market. And so I added it behind it just to add some more color to it and have another layer. So I've got it, and then I've got that circle, and it says living the dream, because they're walking the red carpet. And I thought, oh, that'll go great on there. And I am going to add a couple of flowers and a little starfish. And then that will be done. I think I only add one more thing. I think. We'll find out. No, I add more because I can look right at the layout until I add a little bit more. Because you see that fishnet above the photos? When do I ever leave something like that just open and nothing with it? Never, hardly. Unless I just forget. I mean, yeah, that has happened too. So I had this little, when I was pulling out things to add to my tray, I added good times to it with the little tab. And I will add a flower and a bit of greenery with it. But when I went to get them, I seen this lighthouse. And it's been laying there about as long as the banner, maybe longer. And I just never seemed to find any place to put it. But I started thinking, well, if I put it behind the tree, it'll look like it's in the distance. And then I wanted it to look dimensional, like the tree was closer than the lighthouse. And I did have foam tape under some of those branches, but I wanted to make sure there was a piece behind the branch that goes over the lighthouse. So I added a piece of foam tape there because there wasn't. Otherwise, it would just lay completely against it and would look less dimensional. But I do think, yeah, I am done. I'm going to add, uh, is it the yellow splatters? Yeah, it's the yellow splatters with the scattered straw. And like I said, when I go to take the photos, I think it needs just a little bit more yellow, so you will see some more yellow here and there on the layout, like it was added originally when the uh, before anything else made it on the layout. Hopefully, that's what it looks like. That is what I was going for anyway. So there is my layout, and I had a lot of fun making it. And so there will be another 9 by 12 in this album, but not sure what picture I will be using yet. And there's the Living the Dream. And isn't that the prettiest little paper? There is one like it that is packaging. And I think I used part of it, but this one wasn't the packaging. And there's part of my banner, best ever. It don't say best day ever, but it says best ever. And so I'm thinking best ever walk on the red carpet. But yeah, there's my title, Happy People, Well Dressed People. And it's, I keep thinking I need to do something with it and make it better. So at least the words that are on there do have backing on there with adhesive, double-sided adhesive. So I could move them or change them out if need be. They're not on there with white glue. Well, clearly once it dries. But there's my lighthouse and the tree, and see how it does look like it's farther behind? Well, it does to me. And that's it. That's my layout. Now, I thank you all so very, very much for joining me while I created it. But be sure to check out the playlist down there below and see what everybody else did with this sketch, making it larger or making it smaller or making it into a 2-page layout. Bye.